So I want to talk about this article that I read. And I find this really interesting and I don't agree with it. Let's see if you guys do, okay? Well, first of all, the article was titled, "The Net Worth of Millennials had Quadrupled," which is crazy. "Why some call it phantom wealth." I was thinking to myself, my net worth has not quadrupled. So exactly what are they talking about? Because currently right now I invest, right? My company 401k, I put a good amount of money in there, and between 5 years, my money has not quadrupled. The market has not quadrupled in 5 years. That is insane. Completely insane. So I had to read a bit more about it. And what I saw was this, okay? This was interesting. This is one of the charts that came up. It was saying from 2019, right, which was a lot of money. I didn't know this, but it was 3.94 trillion was the net worth of millennials, which is pretty high. Now it's 15.95 trillion. And I was thinking like, nah, man, something here is not right. So when I was continually reading the article, it came up. And this is something that I feel like shouldn't be part of people's net worth, right? Like it's something you shouldn't feel extremely proud about, which is your equity in your home. I don't consider, and you guys let me know if you agree or not, because I personally don't consider the equity of my home to be like, to make me give me the feeling like I made it, right? Or like I'm a millionaire. Just because of the equity in my home. You see, a house is a liquid, right? I can't just tap into my house and just use money for survival because I need, obviously, my house to survive. That's my primary residence. Of course you could do that. I know people are going to say that. Take a home line of equity, take a HELOC. But then at the same time, you're borrowing from your house. You shouldn't have to. If you have the assets, you got the cash, you shouldn't borrow, right, in order to get it. So to me, I don't feel like a home should be part of your net worth equation, right? It shouldn't make you feel like, yes, I made it, because you can't tap into it. You can't retire with your line of equity in your home. You can't retire that way. The only way you could do it is once you sell your house, get the cash, but then guess what? You find a new place to live. So you take that same cash, go ahead and buy a place to live in. Yes, you're going to downsize, but with the way things are now, it's still going to be expensive to buy a house, right? It's still going to be extremely expensive to buy a house. So simply just saying you're a millionaire or whatnot because of the value of your home went up, I don't know. And this thought came to my head a few months ago when I was hearing George Camel, who was doing a video, and this is not to get at him. I got no beef with him. He did a video and he was saying, someone asked him, I wish I remember when he did that interview, but someone asked him, they were like, if he's a millionaire, he said yes. And he has a paid off house, and his paid off house is like 800,000, I think he said, or something like that. And that was like almost 70%, right, of his net worth. And I'm like, paid off house is part of your net worth? I don't think so. I don't feel like that's the case, right? Now, first of all, we have a paid off house. The awesome thing you could do is, rather than paying, right, your mortgage is obviously, it's yours. Now you can take that money and invest. So now you have an opportunity to take the money that you're putting into a house to invest. So that's a good opportunity right there to build wealth, right? It's to not have a house payment. That's awesome. You could put all that money into a market and become a multi-millionaire that way, especially if you do it in a young age. That I get, but it's because you paid off the house, right? That's the reason why you're building wealth. That I get, but it's not because of the house why you're wealthy or a millionaire. Am I tripping, right? I don't feel like that's the case. And so many people right now, they strive for that. Now, times have changed tremendously, right? Times have changed tremendously. I remember growing up, my parents bought a house in Jersey, and that was like when I was born, like in 81, 80. And when they bought that house, they paid like 20 grand for it, something like that. Fast forward, like in 2020, they moved down to Florida, and they sold the house for nearly like $500,000. And they came down here, they bought a house for $130,000. Now, down here meaning Florida. Now, those were the days, guys, where so many people, my parents are immigrants from Cuba, where so many people who lived up north, probably everywhere else. I just know my story from Jersey And I know people who live in New York did the same thing. So there's other areas that did that. Let me know. But when when they sold it, the value of the homes was so high. When it came down there, the cost of living was so cheap. It's not cheap anymore, but it was so cheap that they were able to get away with it, right? I mean, they bought a house for like $150, sold it for like $400,000. They're pocketing right there, what, 250 grand. That's cool. But I think the days of that happening is over. Like, I feel like everywhere where you might want to live, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be really expensive. Now what they're doing is they're building homes outside of like the city district, like really, really far. And a lot of people don't want to live there because there's a lot of commuting. So some people choose to not go that route. So I say all that to say, you know, a home is a good thing to have. It is a good thing to have. It really is truly a good thing to have. But to me, a paid off house is probably one of the best advantages of having a house because you have a place to live and you have to have that expense of paying for a mortgage. That's awesome. But, you know, it's this having your house and consider it like part of your future, like your plan for like to building wealth. It's not the case, right? And that's why they use the term in the article saying phantom wealth, because I agree. It's like no one's really walking around feeling like everything is great because the house has, you know, quadrupled in value. Right? People complain about the price of eggs and bacon with the wage stagnation, inflation. No one's just walking around like ignoring that, saying, "Yeah, but my house quadrupled." No one's really doing that. Everyone still feels stressed about what's currently going on in the economy, and the value of their home is, you know, it's not a main key to make people feel like they're happy, because some people are just staying in the house. Now, that's not to say that real estate, you know, if you're in real estate, that means it's like, you know, that's not part of your net worth. You can't get wealthy from that. I am not saying that. Really, what I'm saying is, if it's your primary residence, right, that shouldn't be part of your net worth. On paper, yes, but that doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't do anything. It's as illiquid as it gets. But if you start owning properties, right, and you start, you know, getting some rental income from it or whatnot, from properties you're owning, and then you decide a few years later you want to sell it, of course that should be part of your net worth, because nothing in your life is changing. Nothing in your life is changing. I mean, you're basically living in your primary residence, and now you're selling these homes and you're getting all the cash from the sale of the homes. Now that I will consider part of your net worth. You guys let me know. Do you think your primary residence, like, do you guys do that? Do you feel like you base your net worth and how you feel about your financial security in the future based upon the equity of your home? Or do you just see it as a place that you just live in? It is what it is, and that's just about it. Just a place you call home, and that's it. But anyway, guys, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about it, because I find this conversation interesting and I might be tripping. Just let me know in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Catch you guys in my next one. Peace.